won't be able to restart the recording session unless you reset the session. I didn't even know I was recording.
What? Recording a song?
Recording. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I'm about to start. Here we go. Hey, welcome to the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Aaron.
And we're live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some feedback. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Search the Blackout Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. If you do that, and they're nice, we'll read them on the show. And we also won't play an extra commercial break during our feedback show. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair,
and the unofficial sport
bullet ball.
And bullet ball, extreme. Yes, today is a feedback show. It's where we respond to the things that you had to say about the things that we had to say throughout the week. It's a real meta situation.
A little fist.
Okay, we just want to just be heard, and we want you to be heard, and we want to communicate. I already said the folding chair thing. I thought I did, right? The official weapon of the show.
Folding chair. I don't remember.
I feel like I'm repeating myself.
And it don't matter.
It's the folding chair, and then y'all know the taser. Not the taser, the bullet ball string.
I didn't check it up this time.
Yeah, it's my fault, guys. All right. So a couple show notes I do want to mention. Number one, tomorrow we have JL Covan as a guest, 10 a.m. Assuming everything goes right, which you shouldn't, because it's JL Covan. So like, it's a chance that none of this happens, but we hope so. The other thing I want to mention too is Patreon. So we have a Patreon, and we recently, I recently activated the 1 week free trial button. So basically what it is some of y'all like, man, Blackout Tips Premium, is it worth it? Is it good? What they be talking about over there? You can go to Patreon, the Blackout Tips, add us and sign up for a 1 week free trial and see if you like it. And obviously no harm, no foul if you decide not to go through with it or whatever, but at least this way you get to see like the backlog of what all we're doing. And there's 2 levels. The Just a Tip level, where you get 1 extra episode per week, could be anything from a movie review to the Nerd Off to the sports podcast to the pregame to Lip Smacking Good, could be anything. And then of course, if you get the premium from now on, you get everything from the time we started the Patreon on, everything that's behind the paywall, including my brand new review that I did last night, a solo review of One Battle After Another, which was an hour-long review by myself, which is, that's how much I had to say about that movie. And people leave comments over there. There's already people, that are, talking about how much they like, the Patreon, what we had to say. So there's feedback on there. For example, for my One Battle After Another review, Joe says, perfect amount of spoilers and analysis. Thank you. This platform is easy to stream in the car with no commercials. It sounded like a conversation more than a podcast. And it was a conversation by myself. I was talking to myself, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm happy that somebody liked it. It was an hour long. You start getting in your head like, I don't know.
But somebody likes it. And on top of that, I've done solo reviews too, and I'm a talker, but they're normally not that long. But yeah, for them to be that long, you had a lot to say.
Yeah, it was a very thoughtful conversation with myself. And somebody left a comment on the pregame over there. I'll try to incorporate these into our feedback for pregame and stuff like that too. So yeah, hopefully people go over there, they feel like they're getting their money's worth and whatnot. What I may start doing is even I may make a poll over there and ask like, what shows do y'all prefer for the people who are just the tip? So like, do y'all prefer Balls Deep? Do y'all prefer the Nerd Off? Do y'all, if there's a preference at all? So like, this is the kind of stuff we're doing on the Patreon. So look, if you're like, man, I want to know what it's like. If you're a person who's premium on our website, but you want to know like, man, I would like to see if this Patreon is a better fit for me, where I have an RSS feed that I can like easily put into things and everything's together and I, some of my apps, it'll work with those and all that. Hey, go try it out. And then let us, if you want to switch over, that's an easy process. And within about a month or 2, we should be able to offer a year-long subscription over there. We just can't do it yet. So if you're a person that's like, I'm on a year-long subscription, I want to switch over, You can't do it yet, but soon. And we'll, of course, hopefully also be able to do our sale over there for our Black Friday, African American Friday sale that we do annually. So, all right, hopefully that's all the show notes, stuff that you guys need to hear. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Okay, there were people who looked around and they said, I love this podcast. I want them to be here. I would like to give them some money. And, us, we said, sure. And they said, I said, what do you want? You want to sign up for premium? They said, no. I just want to give you the money because I want you to be here and I appreciate what y'all do. I don't need nothing.
So much.
And I said, well, I at least got to give you a shout out. And that's what we do.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the black guy who tips.
New ducats, new what up, kids? We got Early Days in Photography. Michael W. Mako W. Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. J. Full. Nicole F. Chriselle B. Asia D. David from Brooklyn. Michael S. We got Tom W. Jr. Dana R. We got a one-time donation. Normally don't say the amounts, but I have to. It was my birthday, 47th birthday. And shout out to Sting. Always sharply dressed in the suit with the buttons.
Come on.
He said, Rod, dearest of all my friends, happy birthday. $47. Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
Okay, I'll try not to spend it all at the strip club, but I'm going to get some ones. Julian N. Bomani Jones from the Right Time with Bomani Jones. Laura E. Noel W. And then we got a one-time donation from Anthony Q. No message, I don't think. That's it. No message, but thank you for the donation. We appreciate you. And lastly, Pete B hit us with the final donation of the week. Thank you, everybody, for putting it in on our show.
Thank you.
5-star reviews. You love them. We love them. If we don't have them, we do extra commercials. Well, we don't do them today. No extra commercials today because we got 2 new 5-star reviews.
Y'all came through this week.
Shout out to Victor S81 who says 5 stars because I love y'all and I hate ads.
Come on through. I hate ads.
Y'all deserve all the 5-star reviews for this amazing show. And if it keeps me from having to listen to a weird ad on a Saturday, then I'm all for giving 5-star reviews every week. Appreciate you, player. Appreciate you. I don't know what them ads gonna tell y'all.
Yeah, who
it's
knows?
Not up to me.
Somebody's algorithm.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Rod. 5 stars from Shay 159 who says, Rod, the 5 stars are not just for your birthday. They are for all the joy I receive every time I listen. Thank you and happiest of birthdays to you and a whole lot of birthday emojis. Thank you, Shay. Appreciate you. Okay. That's what we talking about. Okay. What a great way to start the show off.
It is.
Pure
Thank
love.
You.
Now let's get into the first episode of the week, 3160, the absolute value of Charlie Kirk, which was a feedback episode. We had 4 comments, Appia being the first 2 of them. Interesting to hear about the role of church in the black community. In communist Poland, the church was also a place where people could flee the communist world at least for a short time and and also important for supporting the opposition. So it played an important role. This is one of the reasons why Polish people tend to be extra Catholic. Social media radicalizes many people without having them notice it. In my opinion, the COVID denier scheme formed on the internet is partly responsible for the current politics. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I mean, the fact that at our highest levels of health in our government, RFK Jr., a vaccine denier, is in charge is proof of the weaponization of social media, division, people clicking up, confirmation bias, all that stuff, because these people you cannot convince them that they're wrong. And they will not even consider that they're wrong. And in their minds, they have a bunch of confirmation the other way. And it's Tylenol is causing autism, and vaccines are causing autism. And, and it's so fucked up because conservatism and racism and all these isms are in it to the point where RFK Jr. is like, I'm gonna make America healthy again, and this is the same people who rejected Michelle Obama for wanting kids to be healthy.
Had a fucking fit.
It makes no sense. Like, it just is confirmation bias and division, and there's, I don't know how you reach these people, because as you said, they've been radicalized, for lack of a better word, and it's all through the internet, through social media. It's really sad. She says the men's dick pills after 40 is the menopause for women at this age. The algorithm has decided this is it. Dick pills seem like so much more fun. And I think it's important to talk about menopause and women's health. Is often too little research overall. On the other side, when is the age as a woman where you are not in a problematic age? Was it the 1 month when I was 39? I wish I knew it then to enjoy it more.
Who knows? But I do believe that more study needs to be done about menopause. There are some things that, they just know, and the wild part is that it varies per person. And that's kind of the wild part. And I think that's what makes it very difficult, to actually be like, here are all of the symptoms, because the symptoms can be all over the place. And the symptoms can be just simple things that's like you don't even recognize and or realize at the time.
Yeah, I hear you. And we know for a fact, that the doctors and stuff, they do more things with men. They tend to study men more. There's more men doctors. Like, all these biases and privileges and stuff affect everything throughout society. Abia says, of course, I don't think slavery equals communism, but I hope you didn't think I would. I didn't. I know that's just your brain working that way, but no,
we did not.
I wasn't even thinking that. Just that church in Poland had also more functions. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because church has been a place of resistance in many cultures, but it's also been a place of oppression and holding people down and dominating folks in many cultures. Is and one person, it's like Calvinism or something. Like, at one time Calvinism could be seen as like, okay, we are rebelling, and then another time it's like, no dancing, we will beat the shit out of you for singing in church. Right? And it's like, whoa, what, wait a minute, what?
Turned everything into Footloose.
EVE says, you broke down absolute value perfectly. One of the reasons Sinclair and New Star Media was unable to air Charlie Kirk special on television is because they didn't have anything of value that he actually said that they could air without exposing him for who he really was. Yeah, they put it on YouTube and I didn't watch it. My imagination is that it's probably some collection of platitudes and then people talking about Charlie Kirk without saying who he was and what he was about.
Agreed.
It's sad. It's really sad. And like I said, when people say he's their MLK, it's about absolute value. But, I think about these things a lot. And one of the things I didn't get to mention when I brought up that point, we also defanged MLK, right? Like, MLK is an absolute value proposition at this point. The people keeping that torch alive are mostly black people and leftists that bring up his actual words of like, here's how he felt about the white moderate. Here's how he felt about Vietnam. Here's how he felt about economics. But in general, MLK might as well be Santa Claus. He might as well be the Easter Bunny. Like, he might as well be a Pokemon. We're just, when the FBI is pulling him out to be like, it's MLK Day, happy, and you're like, you guys fucking had tapped his phones and all this type. Like, it means nothing when Republicans who are against civil rights today pull him out to be like, what a great man. It literally means nothing. It might as well be a Che Guevara t-shirt to them.
Right.
They don't care what he stood for real. And that's what is happening the opposite way. But with Charlie Kirk, they're going to put him on t-shirts and they're going to say we should honor and recognize this man. They're going to, let's put him on a dime or a quarter or some shit. But they're never going to acknowledge what he actually stood for.
Agreed.
Because that is not a message that anyone wants to truly reckon with. Or be held responsible for, or I should say, with MLK, it's not a message people want to reckon with, and with Charlie Kirk, it's not a message people want to be held responsible for agreeing with.
I 100% agree.
The right relies on plausible deniability. They can't deny it when the words from his own mouth are repeated, so they fall back on he was a father, he was young, he was a patriot. It's been over a week now. People have already stopped talking about this dude. That's what's been surprising this felt like the biggest thing in the world a couple weeks ago, and like there was a red scare type thing, and it doesn't. I mean, worse things are happening every day that really actually affect us on a much deeper level than Charlie Kirk. But even the people that were trying to capitalize off of his name, and I'm gonna host his podcast, radio show or whatever. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna raise money, and we're gonna go get the people who didn't really do this, but that we're saying did this. It's already died down. Even the fervor of like, we're going after people who just talk about him and tell the truth. Even that's died down. They, like you're seeing now, it's been a week, and every day I'm reading a new article. Teacher reinstated, professor brought back, job, person giving a job back. Cause it's like people were just tripping because they were capitalizing off the emotional immediacy of what was happening. But as soon as the smoke cleared, it was like, there's no there. It's okay that people do not, it's okay that there are people who will not put this man on a pedestal because of the way he died, because they remember the way he lived.
Right. And the way somebody lives does matter. People like to erase that because most people have a fear of death, don't understand death. It makes them think about their own mortality. Not morality, mortality. Yeah. So they're like, well, I don't want nobody to talk bad about me when I die, type of thing. Like, I really do think that that's where that comes from, where people say this, don't talk ill of the dead, blah, 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 blah. But also, you lived and people witnessed your life. So people can say, yes, you died. I might not agree with, I might not like you losing your life, but I cannot erase what I saw while you were still here.
Yeah, and it was a shocking, emotional thing that people shouldn't have to witness. You watched a murder. I think there's something very real about and visceral about that I don't judge people's reaction of one of like shock and disgust and sadness and fear and all the other stuff. I think we do too. That is another way that social media has radicalized us and made us unempathetic and made us so unable to process and respond to things that are shocking, because we're shocked all the time. It's so normalized. I've seen so many Black people die on camera that seeing a white man assassinated is just another on a long list of things I wish I had not seen on social media. You see what I'm saying? And so for some people's reaction to be one of fear, sadness, crying, empathy, all that, I get it, because you just watched something shocking. And who the fuck is anybody to tell you, the same way I wouldn't tell somebody, you better mourn him.
Right.
I don't feel that I should tell somebody, you better not feel sad about this moment. That was a sad, shocking thing that people witnessed, and demanding that they don't be human is just, to me, as inhumane as demanding that they perform something for you.
Agreed. And I think with social media and the way a lot of things go, like you said, over the years we've been desensitized. I've always said, and I will continue to say this, the algorithm does not care about you as a human being. If showing you dead Black people dying in the street gets you talking and gets you clicking and gets you promoting and gets you retweeting, the algorithm does not care about the mental, spiritual, how it breaks you down as a person. It doesn't care. It doesn't have to care. It doesn't have no morality. It doesn't have no boundaries.
What will keep you scrolling?
Right. All it cares about numbers. And numbers is interactions, good and or bad. Like you say, everything is positive. You tweet angry, that's positive. You tweet sad, that's positive. You tweet happy, that's positive. A post, whatever, like it does not care.
It's the absolute value, right?
Right.
How many seconds will you spend? I don't care how it's affecting your brain. How many seconds will you spend on social media scrolling? And whether you're getting angry about it or not, I don't give a fuck, Anyway.
No. And it's not a person, so why should it cares? It's ones and zeros.
We did get one comment on Spotify. I thought I'd read them this week since we only did 3 episodes. Meech says, I appreciate y'all podcast. Thank you for taking the time out of your days to do it. I don't normally listen to your feedback pods. I may or may not listen when you have guests, but I live for y'all's politics till we get mad segment. Thank you for the bottom of my left ventricle for that segment, and then level out my anger with guest erase. Well, I'm glad you appreciate it. And,
Mhm.
we know some people, we do a lot of episodes. People cherry pick in and out. It's no
Oh
offense
yeah.
given.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that episode.
Me too.
Dark Ninja on YouTube says, I lived through JFK, MLK, and RFK assassinations, and CK's death was not as significant for me personally. Good feedback show. Thanks. Yep, no problem.
Mhm.
DXL22 says, I love the feedback episodes. I love sci-fi, and these episodes are like time traveling. Thanks for the weekly trip down memory lane. 5-star review on the way. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, thank you, baby.
I always feel like, like I said, it's kind of interesting because if you were a person that's like, I don't want to listen to every episode, in my mind, I would start with the feedback episode every week and then see like, oh shit, something happened on Tuesday. Let me go back to that episode.
Because it's like a recap of the week.
Yeah, but everybody to each their own. J Full says, I was really curious how the episode title came about, and holy fuck, incredible, brilliant. Thanks, J Full. I'll do my thing every once in a while. Illy the Goat says, absolute value sums it up perfectly. As an accountant, I approve. Also, I agree with your comments on empathy. It seems people are definitely more transactional with their emotions these days, and it's probably going to get worse. Everybody stay safe and conserve any peace you have. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also it's really, really wild. Because like you say, everybody thinks everything is so transactional that sometimes when you just want to be friends, just flat friends with no strings attached, everybody thinks you're a weird one or you are oddball. Like you just want to be friends. You're not trying to use them. You're not trying to get anything out of them. You're not looking at their social status or where they are. You're like, you're a cool person. I just want to quote unquote be your friend. And the world we live in today, that's almost frowned upon. Like if this person isn't quote unquote benefiting you, bringing something into your life, almost like you cut them off and you get rid of them. But you end up losing that on a lot of treasures in your life by just looking and being like, oh, well, you can't benefit me. Bye.
Yeah, I feel you. I think, I don't know if we're at a place where it makes you a weirdo to want to be friends. I mean, I just think social media wise, everything, because of the nature of the venue, it has to be transactional because everything's quantified. Meaning, right. I know how many likes you had. I know who looked at my Instagram stories. People start tracking that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so like it makes your brain change. Like if you exist there with enough time, it changes your value system. But you're not like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't think that we're the weirdos. I just think there's no way to quantify the vast amount of people who don't operate like that. Like what would we even use to measure that we're not like that? There's no measurement for, I'm just a normal person that, if I dig you, we talk and we hang out. But what I will say though is the transactional nature of how people talk, even when they weaponize therapy words and shit, and especially when you see people spiral out online, when you see what they call like vague booking, the amount of times I've seen somebody that must have been going through something, but they were like, it's like the way everything's being quantified, I guess is what I'm saying. Everything's a number. Like when you see people say stuff like, it was emotional labor to listen to my friend. To me, I would never even think like that. Like it doesn't even approach my brain. If my friend calls me and they are my friend and they want to talk about life and they're going through something, there's no meter, like there's no taxi cab meter that is ticking up going, well, it's been 10 minutes and you haven't asked me about me. So I totally get that those things have either become more broadcast because we can now reveal our innermost thoughts that we probably should keep to our fucking selves. But we're broadcasting those things, or we're literally having our brains change to where we're counting those things in ways that we used to not count as much. We've all had the emotional vampire person, like those people exist. I'm not denying that. But often what I realize is this isn't my friend. Instead of it being like, well, you got 10 minutes to complain, now it's my turn, I just go, oh, this isn't my friend. This person's just sucking me dry, and then I don't need to make a post about it. We just don't talk. I just stop picking up the phone. I'll be okay. They'll be okay. They'll find somebody else they can do that to.
Agreed.
And they won't be able to, anyway. But yeah, I feel you though. It's definitely changed something because maybe it's more popular. Maybe people always thought this way, but we definitely weren't broadcasting it. It did used to be, and maybe it still is, but you were the weirdo for being like, the emotional labor of listening to my best friend complain about her husband. It's like,
yeah, I'm like, are y'all really friends?
Why are you telling me? I'm a stranger on the internet.
Right. Why I'm in your personal business, and because I like to, I'm not gonna say simplify things. I want things to make sense in my brain. And so for me, it's like that was kind of my breakdown on how I got to that, kind of conclusion. Because, like I said, in my mind, there have always been people that tallied and counted and shit like that, like even prior to the internet. And I personally didn't fuck with them people because, like, bitch, I want a friendship. I don't want no
well,
exchange.
It used to be the way you found out was you would have to befriend that person, and then you would realize, oh wait, this person, I don't even know if they like me.
Right.
Why
am I here? And then I'd be like, I know how to hit the eject button.
Yeah. Well, you not always, but you learn.
Yeah, not always.
Yeah,
but like this, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. You don't know what you don't know till you know, and you don't know what your boundaries are until they're crossed. And so, but once you reach a certain age, you have a tendency. You've experienced shit, so you pick up on shit a little bit earlier and quicker and faster. So you be like, no, this ain't gonna mesh, and you can go about like you can prevent things from happening sometimes by just being more alert.
Meeks76 says you were both on point the whole episode, but Karen at the 53-minute mark said something that I personally have not heard anyone really say regarding that empathy, what empathy gets them, and Rod at the 57 mark regarding the MLK point. Wow. Thank you, buddy. That's what we do. Nick the scientist says clearly Ezra Klein wishes he was the left version of CK. Shaking my head.
Yes, he does.
Him admitting that he envied what Charlie Kirk built, I just think is such a huge tale about what kind of person Ezra Klein is and value system that he holds. Because, and I don't mean it in this way of like, because he's such a bad person, he's evil and he actually hates us. I just mean like his value system, because of what he does for a living, is like, I need an audience, I need engagement, I need attention, I want debate at all costs. And this guy had done that, and I can't quote a single fucking word that this man ever said that showed why he warranted this success. But I want that for myself.
Yeah, and to me, the Ezra Klein thing is very disappointing for me personally, because I'm looking like, but what about your audience? So the audience that you've built up on your own in the way that you have, fuck them. And like to me, this is very insulting, because you're going, I want what he got. Well, you actually have a platform.
Well, he thinks he's building that, I think, is what that says. He thinks that what he's debating Joe Biden's mental health, bringing on conservatives so he can go back and forth with them in a very polite way, no matter how abhorrent their views may be. I think he thinks he's building a Charlie Kirk thing, but one of the things I think they envy is almost the quote unquote rock star. And I'm only using rock star in their parlance, because he's like, it's obviously still a very nerdy thing that Charlie Kirk was doing. It wasn't necessarily cool, but in the political sphere, that's a rock star. He's got young college people coming out to tell him you're wrong, and he's going, no, I'm right. But look at how many of these college kids turned out, even if they fucking hate him. You see what I'm saying? So like that, the value system he's talking about is one of just audience, and not the message that is being relayed to the audience. And
so you're telling me you don't care?
Yeah, and it's a very white type of view, right? It's how white people can do things like look at a jury of 12 people, and if they see 6 black people on the jury, they're like, oh God, this jury is going to be biased. But if they saw 12 white people, they would think that's a good jury. They don't even understand their own privilege.
Right. And I think you hit it on the head. It's that white privilege. And so a lot of times, like you said, that's when my disappointment comes in, because it's like, well, what about the other people? There aren't these white nationalists hating the same people that you are quote unquote supposed to be standing for,
Right.
and you're supposed to be representing in your speech and your language and things like that. That's what my disappointment is, because in my mind you said, oh fuck me, I would rather put like this, if I had, in other words, you're telling me if I had the chance to be this, that's what I would be. And if that meant I had to forsake some of my audience, I would do that in chasing a larger audience. And so for me, it's insulting and it's disappointing, as somebody who has listened to him, and I stopped after the election, but as somebody who has listened to him for a long time, I'm going, oh, this is what you truly think about me. I know that's something white folks don't think about, but in my mind, I go, oh, this is what you truly think about me.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what he thinks about black people. You know, I don't know what he thinks about gay people. I don't know what he thinks about anybody. I think what I know for sure is that he values that having an audience over all of that. And so it's like the bigger the following, the better, the more his message is spreading, I guess. I just can't. And there's a lot of people like that, you know. I think that's actually way more normal than the way we operate. Whereas like we're gonna have a small, very dedicated audience that trusts and loves us and lets us grow and breathe and think, but they know that we're not just here to just dismiss their humanity.
Right.
We're not here just to debate. We're not here to act like all sides are bad or equally bad or whatever.
Right.
And that is a much smaller and less exponential way to grow. Whereas if we were just
slower way to grow, yes.
Yeah, if we were just showing up places with a change my mind sign or being complete fucking dicks to people and trolling people, and anything for popularity, I guess maybe people would feel that way. It reminds me of ESPN just recently got into WWE deal with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And so on ESPN in the morning shows, which I watch the morning shows in the background all the time, and in the morning they'll have like all the sports stuff that they do, right? And it's like, oh, Eagles versus Niners coming up, you know, we're gonna break down what, you know, whatever dumb question another morning, you know,
mm-hmm.
Which quarterback would you rather have on 1st and 10, Jalen Hurts or Tom Brady?
All right.
But what I think is interesting is that now, because they have wrestling, every so often they just have a wrestler come on, and it's never really comfortable to do the promo because wrestling is fake. Yeah, I said it. But it while the athleticism is real,
yes, and the injuries are real.
Yeah, like, but the actual result is scripted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same as their sports shows.
Mm-mm.
You know, you don't know, like there is no in the fourth quarter Jason Tatum will definitely hit this 3-pointer to win the game, because that is the way that we wrote it down. No matter how people might gamble or think something's rigged, but we know for a fact that, you know, those outcomes are in jeopardy. But they're not in the sports business anymore. They're in the content business.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling is great content because people will watch it. That's what content is. Content means content by definition is simply a thing that people will watch, right? Doesn't have to have artistic merit, doesn't have to be a real sport. What they are doing is just buying up anything people will watch. It's why they have Pat McAfee on.
Agreed.
It's not that Pat McAfee isn't sports, but he's more importantly, he's a thing people will watch. So while they would have never allowed one of their actual sports shows before Pat McAfee to have Aaron Rodgers on spreading vaccine misinformation,
they would have never
and challenging the
CDC
bullshit. And challenging Dr. Fauci and bringing up politics, they would have literally like they have fired people for less.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the content business, you go, what a great segment that's going viral on Facebook and YouTube. Millions of people tuned in to watch that, and it doesn't matter what the morality of the segment was. It doesn't matter what the fallout is. That is all that to say in a roundabout way. That is what I felt Ezra Klein is saying about himself when he looks up to Charlie Kirk. I actually don't have a message or a platform, or if I do, it's not that important. What's most important is the eyeballs watching. The content is more important. I know people didn't like when I said this on Twitter. I feel the same with Mehdi Hassan going on to Jubilee.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are essentially saying the eyes are more important than the value of what I've actually done to society.
Right.
So the fact that I've actually platformed bigots, some of them raising money off of the fact that they were on there, being avowed white supremacists. I'm gonna have to wait to see if that was a good or bad thing. Is what his
Wait
words.
to see.
His words, not mine. He may have done subsequent interviews, but this is the one I heard on. I think it was media on the media.
Mm-hmm.
You're now a monkey with an AK-47. You're dangerous in a way, and maybe we all are out here in that same way. But you're just shooting and seeing what's gonna happen, and that's what Ezra Klein felt like to me when he said that about Charlie Kirk and couldn't say a single word that man had ever said.
Right. And like I said, and I think that's why I feel the way I feel, because it's like, okay, you admire a man that you can't even say his quotes.
Yeah.
You admire a man who was a racist, who was bigoted, who hated a lot of the audience that listens to you, and that, like I said, you quote unquote claim you represent. And I think that's what the
But does he claim he represent those people? That's the thing. That's you keep saying stuff, and I'm like, I don't know why you think you know his values. I don't know that Ezra Klein has ever espoused anything that would make me go, this is a righteous man with good values that I would align with. I think he hasn't said anything repugnant. Okay. But I don't know that man's values are even in a place where we should assume, well, he's thinking of his LGBTQ brown, white, liberal audience. I don't know that he is. If anything, I think we have a lot of evidence over the years that he kind of low key feels like a performative objectivity type of guy, where it's like, these Democrats, that's what's really the problem, and a little less stringent on the Republicans. I still remember he wrote a whole essay about Trump that, as Trump is lying, he's like, but it's the authenticity of the lies. It's like, I don't know what this man's belief systems are.
That makes sense. But like this, because he wasn't coming out and saying I hate black LB, because he wasn't coming out and saying that, I was just under the impression, this is just me, that I was like, okay, you ain't out here talking bigoted shit, so I guess. And so for me, I was like, well, don't you represent? You're right, he doesn't. I don't know how he really feels. I don't know what his real beliefs are. And like you say, a lot of his shit is borderline. And like you say, a lot of his shit is over the years, it became anti-Joe Biden, anti-this, anti-that. And I'm like, okay, and I think those are the things that turned me off. Instead of talking about the real shit that was happening with like Donald Trump and all this shit, we were hearing for months on end about Joe Biden stepping down, or I was hearing things about, hey, what about these white farmers in Wisconsin losing their farms? I don't give a fuck about them, bitch. Let's talk about some real shit happening. And so, yes, I think I'm just very, very mad and angry and disappointed in what he says. And I put my feelings of him almost being a clean slate and just assumed, but I can't assume because I don't really know how that man feels. And so for me, I'm gone and I will never be back.
Okay. I'm just going to sub just because the fact you actually tip is mind blowing. I don't know if this is a person that's trolling us or they think it's funny or whatever. Their avatar is like a frog, that Pepe frog or whatever.
Oh no.
It says, I wake up and I engage in tomfoolery. They only have 3 created playlists of music. So I don't know if it's just like, we talked about Charlie Kirk and here comes a racist trying to say something funny.
Well, then hop on over there somewhere else. Leave me alone.
Let's hide them from the channel just in case. Let's err on the side of fuck them. Kim Doc says, as a child of Jamaican parents, steak and beef was always cooked for hours, so it was super well done. In my mind, I felt conditioned to always get burgers and steak well done because also as an NYC kid, food poisoning and salmonella outbreaks on the news daily. Imagine my utter surprise after being attacked and shamed for when I ordering a steak well done at a restaurant. We need to talk about the weird shaming and peer pressure to eat steak in a way we don't want to. Even when I was living in France for 2 months, the steaks were nearly bloody. No way I was eating that. But to each their own. No yucking the yums here. Let's give more grace and compassion for people who want rubbery steaks. You don't want to chew my steak. You don't have to chew my steak, LOL. By the way, I've compromised to medium well so as not to get completely shouted down. My friends is crazy out here. That's difficult because there's a couple of things happening there. One is people wanting the best for you. So it's not necessarily people shaming you out of like, well done steak, you're a bad person, as much as them being like, wouldn't you like to taste the steak? Wouldn't you like to eat a steak you don't have to pour A1 sauce on? Also, because of different advancements scientifically and food wise, we know that you're not gonna die from a medium steak. Like, it's not like people like you have to get this bloody rare. But even those people that eat rare steaks and stuff, I mean, they're very rarely would they have an issue. We do have standards in food service industry to keep restaurants from going out of business, from people dying,
killing everybody, right?
Just eating raw meat every day. So that being said, I think it also depends on how, I don't know if you're embellishing and being funny or you really feel completely this way. I'm treating it as if it's serious. I don't know how hard people go on you for that, but it is objectively funny and black to me. Like, I worked in a restaurant that serves steaks. Black people love well done steaks. It is funny to me, in the same way that so many other things we talk about as black people are as funny to me. We joke about it, but we love and accept it.
Right.
This is one of those things where it just really depends on your mentality and trust system, because the same way that people might joke me because I can't dance well, I accept and love black people. I don't go, oh my God, don't try to shame me into learning to dance. I'll be like, okay, yeah, I can't dance. It's funny. So I don't know that I would take it that way, that seriously. But yeah, I used to get my steaks well done, and then some people had me try not as well done, and then I was like, oh my God. Now the last thing I will say is, I think with a burger is different, because I know ground beef is not some shit you should be eating rare and all that stuff. I typically get my burgers done. I don't go well done because I don't want like a brisket. I mean, like a
right,
a charcoal brick. Yeah. But I go,
book.
Yeah, medium well, so I want my burger to be done all the way through. But yeah, to each their own. But I see it as playful ribbing. It's kind of like sugar grits for me. If it goes beyond that, I don't know. So hopefully Kim Doc's just kind of tongue in cheek joking. And also, I mean, I don't know how you can't say it's funny. That fucking SNL sketch with the steak was
fucking hilarious. That table shaking.
There's a reason that's hilarious, and you deep down know why. That shit was funny. Nick says, I apologize, world. It was my week to leave a 5-star review. Someone please update the Google Calendar. Still haven't figured out how to update my last 5 stars, so please accept these 6 stars because Apple only gives me 5. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
But that don't count. You got to go find the Apple thing if you want it to count.
Or create an account.
Luckily, people already took care of it for you, so you're going to be good today.
You good this week.
But don't let it happen again, because we will put the commercials in there. All right, let's get to let's take a break at the poll. I'm sorry. Have you had the peach heat chicken yet?
It's good.
92% of our audience is not. 7% has. Shout out to the 7%. We all we got. Okay, we keep it real.
Ain't we all we got?
We know it. We know the finer things in life, like steaks that aren't made to destroy your tables. All right. Let's
better have some strong legs on that table.
Yeah, let's come right back, guys. We'll be right back. That one's called Reminisce. I don't know if that's by DJ Jaffa, but sounds like it. All right. 3161. We got 4 comments. Ramsey D. Jenkins says, we are living in the upside down world. Thank goodness we have y'all. 5 stars. Classic R&B lover says, regarding the poll, this is a soapbox issue for me, so feel free to ignore it. Okay, cool. I will ignore. Moving on. It was, do you round up when asked at the checkout? And of course I won't ignore. I used to round up, but no longer do. Most corporations pay little to no taxes, so to allow them to make charitable donations off the backs of the very citizens that gleefully deprive our resources every day. They deprive of resources every day with the added bonus of providing them with a tax write-off that further minimalizes their financial contributions to society is a practice I can no longer adhere to.
Right.
I said that on the show a few times, and people wrote in to correct me to say that that is not what happens. They actually cannot write this off of their taxes as their money. I mean, I'm not going to tell them they're wrong if they're like, you fact check me and you said that was right. So I'll never say that again. But even with that, it doesn't feel like if I'm going to give money to charity, then just let me do it. It's weird to do the roundup thing, but it is good for the company's PR image. So it helps the company to look like they care about, St. Jude's or whatever it is, even though they technically didn't do a damn thing. They asked you to give the money. But yeah, I don't. So all that to say, I don't believe it is a thing where there's a tax shelter, is from my understanding. But yeah, corporations in America, they have so many benefits and so many ways to get out of tax responsibilities to the rest of us that it definitely feels icky, But yeah, I get it. Maybe, I'm sure if I was one of these charities, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck if it feels icky to you. This is what's helping the kids. We do get the money, and it's better for us, Abia says, I'm happy for everyone who got rehired and got double the money, at least for all the stress and the drama. What is Elon doing now, by the way? He doesn't seem to get rehired. Well, he just had a deal go through where Grok, his AI, is going to be used in some sort of government capacity. So he's still out there. He showed up at Charlie Kirk's funeral / Trump's rally speech. So he's out there still palling around with these people. I think one of the things that people on the left wish cast, like we want to be true, but I just don't see any evidence that it's actually true, is all these interpersonal conflicts that are supposed to lead to these huge ego men no longer fucking the rest of us because they're fucking each other. And I think it makes us feel good, like you're watching an episode of Succession or something. But I don't even get excited about this stuff. When Pete Hegseth and they're like, he might get fired, he had the group chat leak, and I'm like, I don't know why y'all think that that's going to happen or that anything better will happen. Trump and Elon are fighting on Twitter. Yeah, but then like 3 months later, they'll be friends. I remember saying that when they were fighting. Like, yes, you want to feel optimistic, but we knew they weren't buddies. We knew they were both thinking they were using each other. We knew that there would be combustible moments because they're both combustible people. But the one thing they seem to agree on is fucking us. Evie says, I'm not surprised that Sinclair New Star, or I think it's Next Star or something. Anyway, decided not to air Jimmy Kimmel's return. And maybe 10 years ago, that would have been a devastating blow for the show. But even with it aired in those markets, the show came back to the highest ratings they've ever had. I doubt those high ratings will last because most people watched out of curiosity of what Jimmy Kimmel will say. But my point is, despite Sinclair and New Star owning all these affiliates, they don't really hold the same power they used to because how so many people have cut the cord and no longer have cable. I don't watch network stations anymore, and I guess a big chunk of people are under a certain age don't either. That's true. With so many streaming services, people have alternative viewing choices. The local channel watchers on regular cable and analog television is dying out. These tactics of not airing shows they don't agree with won't work as effectively as it used to. Now, this isn't to say that Kimmel's show won't eventually go away either, because late night television in general is also a dying institution. Yeah. Only thing I would add is they are going to air Jimmy Kimmel now because ABC / Disney controls football, and that
with them local affiliates.
That street works both ways. So you won't air our stuff. It's not just going to be how you decide. You don't want to air our shit, then we won't send you Monday Night Football. We won't send you the college game of the week. Now what, bitch? Because football is the opiate of the masses. And while you may have people that don't give a fuck about Jimmy Kimmel or give a fuck about Charlie Kirk and ain't up at 11 o'clock at night to care who the fuck dick measuring contest is winning,
about that football, though.
They do care about getting their sports. They need that fix.
When they turn it on and that game ain't on and they looking at a big ass sign talking about it's your fault,
right?
They're gonna be in your ass.
And so yeah, it's all back now. They've already decided that it's back, so I'm not surprised at all. Let's see, YouTube, we got 20 comments. Oh my god,
what was we talking about?
Provocative AF says, hey, my favorite podcast. Damien says, hey Rod, I don't disagree with either of your overall points about Mamdani getting elected. Means very little to us living outside of New York City, but what might apply to us as residents of other communities. He was talking about freezing rent prices, which could be game changing, especially if it can be pulled off in one of the biggest cities in America. They had a rent control on the ballot here in California in November, but unfortunately it failed. All kinds of landlord associations, HOAs, and a like group spent a lot of money to get the outcome they wanted. To which I did reply, that only matters if your local mayor emulates what the mayor of New York City is doing.
And most are not.
Something that we really don't see anyone do in other cities. You could get your mayor to start looking into this sort of policy right now. You don't need Mamdani to win or lose New York City for this to matter to your local city. And he said, agree. You got a point there. Unfortunately, some mayors will definitely need to be pressured. My mayor is former police chief, so you know he's likely a soft white nationalist. And those types especially like ideas when they come up with them. Yeah, and so this is my point, and this is why it was so important, because obviously I'm not against Mamdani at all. The idea of this being important to me is 100% a social media concept.
Right.
It is not. If I did not have Twitter, Mamdani would be a dude I see on the news every once in a while.
Or read in the newspaper.
But it wouldn't be like something that every time I log on, here's his latest campaign video, here's Eric Adams lifting weights, here's Cuomo doing stuff. And the reason that it's showing to me is not because it's important to me. They're showing it to me because it's great content. This is like a fucking Simpsons episode running for mayor, the way that these three characters are. Mamdani is very entertaining as well. New Yorkers love a mayor with a lot of personality, and he has a lot of it, and they agree with him now. But I remember when Bill de Blasio was the guy they agreed with a lot. You never know. And Eric Adams, of course, is basically a fucking character out of a cartoon, and as well as Cuomo. They all very they're guys you can do impressions of. You know what I'm saying? Like they're those kind of guys. They stick out. So all that to say, like, my point was not about whether their ideas are good or not. My point was, if their ideas are good, they won't affect me either way.
Right.
If he gets rent frozen in New York City, that does not freeze rent in Charlotte. It doesn't even mean my mayor gives a fuck.
Right.
But I can make my mayor give a fuck, even if the rent never gets frozen in New York City. I can make my mayor give a fuck. I can show up to the meeting. I can suggest it on the ballot. I can pressure through the primary. I can pressure through campaign donations. Like, it's interesting how, like, they've convinced us that our clicks and our likes and our views are the real power, because that's the real power of content. That's not the real power of politics, really, and it shouldn't be.
Right.
Couple other people responded. I'm not saying I'm against Mamdani's ideas. The real problem working against this idea and his other proposals is the lobbyists. Outside dark money will certainly flow in to ensure these type of proposals never get off the ground. The rich are not interested in having a private business compete against the government. He responded, people have more power than we know. We decide we want something bad enough and vote that way. Money can't do shit. I agree. Eric says it matters because if one of the largest city can make the change, so can people in other cities. Sets a tone. So only cover your city. Eric, I can't imagine being more obtuse to what I'm saying, because none of that was my point. I'm saying you, the person listening to this, your life will not be changed by what happens in New York City.
It will not.
It will definitely be affected by what happens in your city.
Mm-hmm.
And we all are alive. I've been alive 47 years. There's no initiative that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina because it happened in New York City. That's not how it works. It happened because the will of the people here. That's what makes shit happen. There's movements that happen, but if you don't do anything to localize, to organize, to push in your own city, to vocalize what you want here in your city, it won't come to you. There's no trickle down with this shit. So a good example is like defund the police. There are places that defunded the police because they got the fuck out there and did it. They didn't just go, well, that's what people want in Minneapolis. So that defund the police didn't go to everybody, did it? None of us went, well, they did it in, even stop and frisk, which happened in New York City. That never happened in my city.
Mm-mm.
Why did that not happen here? It happened in New York City. It's so important. It's one of the biggest cities. If they can make the change, y'all can make the change. It didn't happen because we weren't with that bullshit. So that's all I'm saying. If you want to try to play some type of weird gotcha bullshit, you can do that. But I think you're smart enough to know exactly what I meant when I brought up Mamdani and why I don't think him being elected or not elected matters at all to me in my city, and why the internet is pushing that as content to me, because they think I would be interested in the content of it,
right,
regardless of whether or not it actually matters to me. And I could have used any example, but I used that example. But there's millions of examples of them showing me something that doesn't change. How many times has Candace Owens video or reaction to her video come down your timeline, and it's like, I honest to God could have gone my whole life never knowing that, and I would be okay.
Agreed.
Joseph says, we definitely underestimate bigotry. I remember watching an interview of this guy talking about how he doesn't have to deal with police harassment because he has money and stays out of trouble. He even called Ta-Nehisi Coates stupid for saying economic power will not solve racism if racist heart don't change. I wish I could remember his name and where I saw that interview. I can't believe he said that after all the black towns that were making money and staying out of trouble that racists destroyed anyway. Yeah, shout out to Tulsa. Dark Namja says the ultimate suction. Oh, probably my Vanessa Del Rio joke. Damien says, hey, Rod, I'm not sure if you meant, but you kind of hinted today's Apple Politics Till We Get Mad was going to be a doozy. I don't know. Also, it's kind of hard not to see a day for Kirk as a day for bigotry because it's really what he stood for. Mm-hmm. I'm extremely disappointed the Dems, because Mark Vessey's bill would have been the way to speak out against political violence. But really, why do the Republicans, watch Melissa Hartman and her husband get murdered and the other Minnesota rep and his wife attacked, and there was zero fanfare? The Republicans could care less about political violence then and now too. The only difference is the violence can be wielded as a cudgel. Yes, Damien. Completely agree. Nick says, I want proof that the roundup of donations at stores actually goes to the organization. I'm inclined to believe that they use our coins for a tax write-off. Guess we'll never know. Once again, don't write in to correct me, guys. I heard y'all the first time. This is just what people believe. I can't control that, but I personally am not saying that. Y'all said the money go to the places and it's not a tax write-off. I'm with it. I'm dropping the 10-4 hat. Please don't write in. I don't need another 30-page letter. Provocative AF says, on the Charlie Kirk day, Hakeem Jeffries is a leader in name only. I mean, this guy fucking sucks at every part of the job of leading the party. Give me Mike Tyson. I don't know if I want Mike Tyson leading the Democratic Party either, but I hear what you're saying. I would like a fighter. And I think the way he fights is not, it's pleasing to no one.
Right. So everybody's mad.
Yeah, I don't get the strategy. I really don't. And I'm sure if I sat down in a room with him and Schumer, they'd have some reason for doing things the way they do, but I just don't see it as a thing that appears to be
no backbones.
I don't see it as a thing that appears to be galvanizing people. And maybe it's different offline, but I don't even see it offline. I don't see a lot of support for their positions. People just feel like they're either capitulating or they're not making a stand and fighting back. And I'm not saying on each and every issue I'm not one of these bang on Democrats no matter what they do people. So I do respect Cory Booker filibustering. I think Hakeem Jeffries did the same thing. I respect that. But the message does not feel consistent when you are then telling me, no, we have to not push back on this Charlie Kirk thing because it's a trap. And I'm like, And the Republicans will say that we did this, and I'm like, don't you got a mic too? You right here using your voice to tell me that's not what's happening. So why can't you just not support the Charlie Kirk Day? Say we did push an initiative to say all political violence is wrong, and they rejected that. You have the same ability to go out and tell the people what happened. And I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm tired of excuses but the Republicans, but they're lying. Truth got to mean something. If y'all don't stand on it, then who the fuck, how can anyone stand on it?
Agreed.
You know, I don't know how you're at this point still hemming and hawing about that shit. He says, thanks to Ryder Karen for speaking on Charlie Kirk day in depth like you did. Thanks, Provocative AF. The girl on the other side of the road said none of them actually cares about Charlie's death. They are using him for clout. Even his wife is trying to steal his platform. And I know Trump was so happy when he heard the news. The funny thing is that the only person who actually cared about him is a black woman, Candace Owens. That's what y'all say. I don't follow Candace Owens and know if that's true. And I never will. I don't even want to know. No research will be done. I seen the video down my timeline of like some montage of them hanging out together, having fun, and I immediately said, unfollow, mute this account.
Yeah.
Meek says, my comment pertains to discussion at 110. I've noticed for a very long time that people would rather everything fall than see everyone succeed. With Kimmel, the capitulation was swift, and it could be that way for everyone who was unfairly silenced or fired. Others were fired for much less, some for actually doing their job. For people who want to see the truth is right there. It is an interesting thing because, like, I get that people are supporting Kimmel, but there were a lot of people could have supported. I mean, I hate to sound bitter, but like, can you imagine if we had this level of like support at ground zero in like the first Trump elections when he was banning news people and stuff? Like, at this point, it's almost like people are so exasperated and so expectant of like constant chaos that they're not fighting back. It's already been normalized. But man, it's funny. Kimmel was the line for so many people. Y'all couldn't assign 400 actors to a letter before Jimmy Kimmel lost his show. There wasn't anybody that was targeted. You know, when this man was. Man, all right, I can't do the whole thing. It'll be too long. Jason says,
yeah, because I was about to say, people pick and choose when they fight, and I think that's something that irritates me as somebody who is like, I'm going to fight no matter what. A lot of people had opted to opt out of the fights.
Yeah, and
it's like people like me are going, well, don't you see this? This is time to fight now before it gets to a point where it's out of control.
Yeah,
and you have to work twice. You have to fight twice as hard. And everybody was like, I'd rather just wait until I got to fight twice as hard. And people like me get mad and be like, why, bitch? Why? Now everybody got to fight twice as hard when you could have helped out from the get-go.
Jason says, another great episode. I'm guessing freezing the kicker is similar to when me and my friends are playing 21. Whenever someone is shooting the last free throw to hit 21, we definitely hold that ball for a little while. Maybe tell him something about his mama. The mom dying. Yeah, but it's funny. Why aren't y'all doing that at the earlier free throws? You know? Like, I mean, well, actually, now that depends on how you play 21. Because I play it where you only shoot the one last 3-pointer to get 21, and if you miss it, you go back down to 14. So it really just depends on what your rules are. So forget I said that because I don't know. People play differently. The Mom Donnie thing is really interesting. Cats like Bernie have been talking from the sidelines for decades, but this could be the first time we see someone in a position to actually see if things can work. The test will be how the super far left treats him once he's in. It usually doesn't take much for them to flip like they did on AOC. Will he be given a little extra rope because they rode for him so hard? Or will the first time he sides with the cops, because at some point he will they throw him away? From all accounts, de Blasio was doing his thing, but only took one misstep. That's what it felt like for me on the outside with de Blasio. And once again, this is why I've decided the New York City election is not a big deal for me, and I'm not turning into some referendum on Democrats or referendum on America or politics. It truly is a thing that exists in the microcosm of the New York City universe,
right?
But I remember the de Blasio campaign and how people were going up for him and the fervor of him having a biracial, like interracial marriage with a biracial son and all this shit. And then he just one day I woke up and everybody was like, man, fuck this guy. And I was like, whoa, okay. I don't understand the city, but good luck, you know? Let's see. Spotify, couple comments. Happy early birthday, Rod. Thank you, Jinkies. Jinkies Deidre. And Bus for You says, what up, y'all? I'm out in Olympia, Washington now, but I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Okay, shout out to Fayetteville. DeVille. We went to college there.
We did.
Living out here, I've seen every example y'all joked about what Republicans think Starbucks is. Had me chuckling. Truth is, everybody here, niggas and races alike, got a Starbucks order. Facts. Let's see. The poll was, do you round up when asked at checkout? I don't either. 84% of people don't. 16% of people do and are on it. So there you go. Those are the stats. Let's go to the next beat. Jazzy. It's Luminous by Infrared Crypto. 3162. We are in a recession. Forgot. Abia says, despite all the life thing, sexy time is alive and well in the Appia house. Studio audience. Woo! Honestly, I'm proud and surprised that it's the case after 19 years. Maybe it helps that I only have one partner. It's Mr. Appia, in case you wondered. Well, I wasn't going to spread your business, okay? That's between you and your marriage. I know he has same political views. We stayed in the groove. Ha. Well, congrats. I would have, of all the people, I would have thought you was out here
in these streets
having the healthiest sex. Ronan Raphael says, I was wondering why bright lights kept appearing around me at random moments. Just me. I know that I can be too sexy for these streets, so just looked at it as other multidimensional beings acknowledging my glorious purpose of sex. Say it that way, Rod. Until you broke the rapture news to me. Happy birthday to my dear good brother Rod. I love that man, co-host of the best podcast in the world. He might not pre-order my New York Times bestseller, The Romance, but you should and qualify for a free ticket to Africa. However, he always is a stand-up guy. I don't give up rapture for many, but as soon as I found out that I can't listen to Blackout Tips, I said, keep my ass on earth. I got more sexy books to write, and until my favorite podcast stops, rapture me then. Have a wonderful celebration, a toast of pumpkin spice on my end to you. I just want to know what the rapture pastor is going to say tomorrow. That's going to be a hell of a sermon. Yeah, I think David Cross has a joke about that. It's like, boy, is that egg on my face, Like, explain that. Evie says, Rod, I hope you had a very special birthday. Sorry you didn't get raptured. I guess you're going to hell with the rest of us. It's okay. We'll be in good company. Beyonce and Kendrick will be there as well, so at least the music in hell will be good. Yeah, I did have a good, fun birthday. I went to a place called Patty Wax, and I booked a candle making class that me and Karen took.
It was fun.
Y'all know I'm a real basic candle burning bitch. And so we made our own candles. Matter of fact, I brought them to show you guys. This one's Karen's candle that she made. As you guys can see, it's a boot. And the scent is tobacco and vanilla.
Yeah, I think you can name them.
And
too.
On the bottom is you can name your I don't know if y'all can see. This camera is
there you go.
On the bottom you can name it. She named it Beyonce's boot.
I know that's dumb. I don't care.
Then she had this one, which is Orange Blossom is the scent, and it's in a heart shaped candle thing, and Happy Heart is what she named it. They haven't got the fall scents in, so I couldn't do a pumpkin spice candle, but y'all know I'll be back in October. Because like the last Friday they do free refills on candles and stuff. This one is salted grapefruit. It's mine. And as you can see, it has a snake on the outside, and I named it Snake Friend because some snakes are friends, guys.
Yes, they are.
That wasn't a danger noodle.
Still running, but yes, they are.
That wasn't a danger noodle. And then this one is golden amber, and it came with a lid on it. It's purple in the actual the jar that it's in. And it smells so good. They let you cheat. Like you're only supposed to put like a certain amount of the smell good in there, but she's like, you can go up to 0.2 ounces more.
She let you go. Yeah,
I like my candles strong, like me my too. Women's.
Me too. So I went up in the scent. So I had a ball. And
I named this one Potion. Is the name of this one. With the golden amber.
A ball because it was like a whole wall full of them, and you can get 1, 2, and 3 wick burning, and they had all types of shapes and sizes. Some was like margarita glasses, and I think all of them you can change to a planter or something like that if you want to. Or some of them you could change it to a planter, like for like if you want to take it and make plants, and then they have like a refill thing. So I that was a lot of fun. I've never made candles before, and I had a ball. Thank you very much for doing that, baby.
It was my birthday. I did it for myself, but you was welcome to come along. So I had it was a basic birthday, went to a restaurant that I like, ordered all the foods that I haven't been eating for the last year or so. Had a little bit of everything till I felt, too full and sick, and then went home and fell asleep. So yeah, it was a great birthday for those that was like, oh, I hope you had a happy birthday. I did.
It was fun.
Thank you, EVE. The Arby's employee getting attacked with a rock proves that Arby's isn't a criminal organization. The employee reported a crime because Arby's is an above the board organization that is definitely not a money laundering scheme. You'll just have to accept that they had a means. Well, not really. So the employee ran out of the restaurant bleeding from the head, and the police were already patrolling that area because it's an Arby's and it's a criminal area, more than likely high crime. So my guess is that the police happened to see the employee trying to get vengeance, running around, bleeding from the head, probably about to kill this person that, as retribution, because if you attack on our turf, I got to respond in kind, and then change their story when the police rightfully saw them and said, what's going on? It's like, oh, I got attacked over a roach, but really they probably stole a brick of cocaine. Sean says, listening to your comments about the demonizing of ICE, in quotes, while reading about the abduction of Ian Andre Roberts and the moron from ICE saying it's an example of ICE keeping Americans safe while every single person who knew him was protesting against the absurd actions of ICE. The one thing I would add to your comments is if ICE does not want to be demonized, they should stop acting like brown shirts and start enforcing actual laws. Yeah, why are you covering your face? America doesn't need a militarized border with gangs abducting random black and brown people. Most illegal immigrants are white, if I remember correctly. And they need courts that are designed to work around all the racist legislation around immigration and help them live and work legal. Well, that courts thing, that's over, right? Supreme Court literally said in California, they can racially profile with Homeland Security and ICE. Like, we're not gonna get that anytime soon. The way this court is so nakedly like, whatever Trump wants, yay. Whatever Biden wanted, no. Ooh. And I listened for 4 years. I listened to people say it's just Biden wasn't constructing the arguments right. Biden wasn't doing something right. Biden wasn't doing. It's something Biden. And I just don't think there can be any more fucking proof that this country's Supreme Court, which was cooked from the time that people wouldn't vote for Hillary.
Agreed.
What more proof do you fucking need? Like, it's so obvious what they're doing. Power it absolves itself. Might is what makes right for them. It is not about precedent. Clarence Thomas just literally said we need to go back and start looking at settled precedent in America and overturning it. Like that, this is where we're at right now, and it's because they are running to Boston. They have they're spade tight over there. As much as they hate spades, but they are spade tight over there. And so I think a lot of people were kidding themselves about the kind of country we were and the kind of country we will become.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think the courts are going to, I mean, I'm with you. Those are the things that need to happen, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. He says this is a specific subset of meta humor. There's a specific subset of meta humor about making the description of jokes funny. With your explanation of resection, you show that you are improving your level of this craft. A little more work, and you may approach mastery of this type of humor. I think you're doing it too, right there. I see. I see what you did. Let's see. YouTube comments for this one. 18. Damn.
Y'all had something to say. The hell was we talking about?
It be the episodes where I really be like, what? But a lot of them are short, so okay. Absurd Spoonful says, regarding white people news, Danny Ramirez is also the new Falcon in the MCU. Not sure why the article wouldn't lead with that one, where he had more than a line or two. Great show, you two. Yeah.
Okay.
I do know him now.
That makes more sense. But the way the article was, the way they showed him, I was like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
Look like they would have added that to the article.
Yeah. Like he got married to Jessica Alba. No, he's dating Jessica Alba. That's big for him. Congrats.
Somebody said he was in Top Gun Maverick too.
Okay, I don't remember him in that either. Must not have had that many lines. But he had a lot of lines in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, wait. Captain America, Brave New World.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia says, happy birthday, old man. Thank you. Happy birthday, Rod. I love Karen's hair journey. I'm rocking locks right now. I have been natural for almost 14 years.
Yay.
Christoph says, 1:24 p.m. on Tuesday. Where's the damn rapture? I can't do America no more. Dark Nam just says, happy birthday, many returns, Rod. They supported the Cracker Barrel hierarchy of needs. Fun show. Thanks. Happy birthday, Rod, says none of your biz. I'm so sorry about dropping the rapture ball. I honestly just thought you knew already. My bad. It's all good. It's all jokes. Damien says nothing like growing older gracefully. Happy birthday to you, Rod. I'm not sure who's worse, fake Christmas or fake Christians or MAGA or both, because both are pretty reprehensible. I'm Awake says, happy birthday, Rod. Hope your day was filled with joy, laughter, and all the things that make you happiest. Honestly, you give us a gift with every show. Your insight, perspective, and the energy you put into keeping us informed means so much. Grateful for you and wishing you the best year yet. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was a fun birthday filled of laughs and joy. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that of all.
Happy birthday, Rod, says Provocative AF. Love y'all relationship. Congrats on forever. Thank you. Mm-hmm. The girl on the other side of the road says, Coachella thought they were eating with this lineup. You want to see Justin Crackhead, especially after the SZA concert? Oh, who wants to see him? He's about to be on that stage looking dead. I love Sabrina Carpenter, but doing Coachella with only one good album is crazy. She going to be like Charlie XCX last year. Snooze. Anyway, happy birthday, Rod. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Ray Gunn says, welcome to First Watch, man. I started going there probably 2 years ago. It's always good. Y'all should try everything on the menu. We went there this morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like First Watch, man. I go there. I like the pumpkin pancake breakfast right now. I didn't get it this morning, but I normally do. But today I got the ham and Gruyere cheese omelet, and that was banging as well. You know,
I got a hash. It was good,
and that grits was good too. But they was thick. Okay, I'm talking Serena Williams catsuit thick. You know what I'm saying? Maybe could have added a little water thick.
It was very thick.
You know, I like my grits like I like my women's. Okay, strong, thick, black, and sweet. Now, do I know how to make grits? No. I don't know how to make grits. I don't know the recipe. I'm just joking. I like my grits chocolate. No,
kind of grits is you eating?
With some tig old bitties. Coach
I do know how to make grits, and yes, you don't put chocolate in grits.
Okay, thank you, Karen, for taking it literal. Coach Donnie B says, I've been following this guy, Jabril, owner of Passport Heavy. Oh, this is spam.
Okay.
It's got an Instagram link and all this
shit. Oh, Chabu. Get out of here.
Yeah. What is happening? You. Is this even about us? What is this? I've been following this guy. I'm 61 years of age. I have a son who's 28. We just had a discussion on living in America. Damani, my son, said it's no way that he will raise a child in America. He's not married with any kids yet. America isn't it. I listened to you and Karen today on the radio. Oh, so this is a person from Karen Hunter. Okay. Cause I'm reading this shit like I don't think we talked about this on this show. But so I was on Karen Hunter's show yesterday, and we talked about the idea of black people leaving America in mass or something. I'm not really much into that theoretical question. I'll discussing just about anything, but I'm not a leave America person. I don't judge people that feel that way, but I have empathy and understanding for them.
Same.
But I just think in practice, it's going to end up being about privilege, because the plan is never how do we get every black person over to some other place.
It's how I get me and mine.
Yeah, it's always like, how do I use the passport I have to get myself out of here, which is totally fine and fair question to ask. What we're going through in America right now, I mean, I can't imagine a black person who has not considered leaving this country, unless there's some kind of fucking con or just like super militant about it. But even if you're super militant, I'd imagine you considered it. Like, who the fuck
thought about it, right?
It doesn't make you less of a person to be like, maybe I should get the fuck out of here,
right? But then you have to get down to the reality of it. Is where do you go? And
yeah, well, I'm not talking about that part. I'm saying individually.
Yes, individually.
But when people present this question of we, it's not really we.
No, it's not a we.
Because it's not like you're saying, how do we start a platform and a program to get every black person a passport, to get everybody a basic level of money and that will facilitate them coming to another country. What are the rules of each country? Which country will we go to? Right. How are we going to negotiate this passage? It's very much a like, we can get some of the ones out of here and then leave everybody else to languish here with no resources. What are the rules on getting a passport and leaving if you're on probation? If you're, where are we going to go where there's no extradition for certain people? Are we thinking of everybody? What about the people that some of us don't want to go with us and don't want to come?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions to it. So it's a good theory discussion, but I don't necessarily like it practically,
because all of it is individual thing that we're trying to make as a collective, and it's not a collective question.
He says, my question to you, have you ever been to Belize or Tanzania? Is so much out there here. Hear you say, I'll just admit that I'll probably just end up dying here in America. I was like, oh, I felt so sorry to hear you say this. I might have to pay for you and your wife on a trip to Portland, Jamaica. Not that you can't afford it, but I just want to see Portland. It's one of my favorites. The whole island is so laid back. Don't worry about my future grandchildren getting shot in school, police brutality, etc. Hey, I'm not against traveling out of the country. I'm not even against the idea of living somewhere else. But what I'm telling you is not about my imagination or fear of other places. My point that I was making on the show, and maybe it didn't connect, but it's about me telling this country is as much my fucking country as anybody else's, if not more so.
My family died here.
You can't run me out. You can't just have it with no fight.
Right.
I'm from the South. If I was the running type, I wouldn't even be here right now.
Agreed.
I'd be in New York talking about Mount Downey or whatever. Like I have just as much right to the land, the soil, to the where the blood of my people are too.
Right.
They don't get to just have it.
And they don't. And my biggest thing is you don't get to dictate. Hey, my people were brought here against their will in the first fucking place. So we were brought here against our will. And so we were here. We built this bitch. We built Washington, D.C. We built a lot of the cities. There are places that people have poured water on, drowned whole fucking cities. My ancestors' blood is in this motherfucking soil. I was born here. I was raised here. And I have the choice to die here if I choose to. My ancestors went through a lot of shit. Nothing compared to what I'm going through. And if they can live through that, I can live through this. And there's nobody's going to make me run away from this country that I love.
Yeah, it's just, I think I have as much right to it. And I don't think America is America without black folks in it. I don't think it's America without black folks forcing it to live up to what it's promised to be. And I just, like I said, I understand and empathize with people that disagree. I'm not judging y'all. I don't feel sorry for you in that way. I would never condescend to you and be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that you would leave your country just because you scared, just because you a bitch. Like, I would never say, I hate to hear you picking up and turning tail and letting the white man have his way. Like, I would never say that to y'all, because I'm like, no, I completely understand and respect.
I do too.
People that are like, I want to get the fuck out of here. But I just ask for that mutual respect back. Now, if you want to pay for me to go on vacation to Jamaica, I'll definitely accept it. I've never been to Jamaica. Karen has. Mm-hmm. I want to go snorkeling. I want to get into clear waters.
We can snorkel together.
But I'm sure that even in Jamaica, there's people that are going to tell you it ain't all good here. We got problems in Jamaica just the same way you got problems everywhere. And you have to fight. Like, part of the reason that we lionize places like Jamaica is because they fought. Think about it. A big reason that we look up to them is because they didn't just say, this is my place, this is not my place anymore. And many black people was brought to Jamaica and they still fought.
Yes, they did.
To white people was like, okay, leave them alone. Shit.
Right.
Just go there for vacation.
Leave them alone.
So anyway, it's very complicated, and I completely respect where you coming from. Mm-hmm. But don't feel sorry for me. Mm-mm. I'm not saying it because I'm ignorant to other places. I'm saying it because I know here and I love here, and I have as much right to be here as anyone else. I have as much right for my voice to be heard and for my vote to be counted, and every other thing in the Constitution. I have as much right for that. And if I have to fight and raise my voice and cause a little bit of trouble to make America have to live up to that shit, then that's what the fuck I'm gonna have to do, dog. Mm-hmm. You can't just back down to these people without a fight. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And it's, and it's also, one of the things is that America is number one at exporting racism. So no matter where you go in the world, you're going to deal with it. If you're running away is to get away from racism, that's impossible.
Yeah. And there's people bring up in the chat. There's people, my family came from Jamaica for the opportunities here. I'm from Jamaica. It's gun violence there. Like, I get it. Nowhere is perfect. Wherever you at, you got to make your strategy to stand on there and fight. And so I feel like wherever I go, I'm going to be fighting anyway.
Right. No matter where.
You're going to have to stand up for yourself against whatever ills are coming at you. So but I respect what you're saying. I appreciate it, because I know what you said comes from a place of concern,
yes,
and mutual love, and respect,
and just being concerned.
Part of my passion. Hopefully you didn't take that any level of offense. And if you still feel sorry for me, you feel sorry for me. I can't change that, but I understand. I'm not saying this out of ignorance or fear.
Yeah, and I'm saying this out of somebody who has really sat down and really contemplated this and really thought about this hard. Like it's not an easy decision to just be like, the place that I was born and raised and loved and my roots and my family, just to pick up and just go to somewhere else with a lot of different rules and regulations, different governments, learning curve, possibly different languages, all types of shit. Like it is not as simple as people, and
different biases against black people there.
Agreed.
And like, it's kind of like the Great Migration. A thing that is still said today as common parlance that is just, if you read more about it, you'll find out it's just not true. But there's this idea, and Karen alludes to it often. I'll try not to take us down a cold rabbit hole, because then we'll have to do the Karen rant. But there's a thing that is said often in this country about like the North and these other places being better for black people than the South, and you just got to get out of the South, leave the South, it's better everywhere else. And the more you read about the Great Migration in detail, not just generalities, not what white folks from the North pat themselves on the back and tell you, go read about it in detail, explicit stories, and you'll find that wherever black people showed up, racism was a step behind. Chicago, they lynched people. New York City, when there was essentially a draft for the Civil War, the white people that were, because it could only take white soldiers at the time, the white people that were drafted, before they left, they went and killed a bunch of black people in New York City. Why would they do that? They're fighting for the slaves, remember? They're from the North. We need to thank them because they could give a fuck about black people either. And black people as a concept was fine over there. But the closer they got to your neighborhood, the more it was like, actually stop and frisk. Actually redlining in Chicago. Actually, let's make it so you can never own your home. Actually, we're gonna fucking literally beat and kill you for working in the same factories that we work in. We're gonna not have unions rather than have you in it.
Right.
This is literally the legacy of racism in America. And internationally, it's not gonna be flowers everywhere. Can it be better than here? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm not knocking anyone who wants to leave, but just the anti-blackness and the racism is the real problem. It's not our choices and how we deal with it. That's what I would say. But everyone has to pick their own path. I don't. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe things will get so bad that I'll change my mind. But as of right now, my path feels like staying here and saying I'm gonna get what the fuck I'm owed. But that's just me.
Right. Yeah. And I 100% agree. And as somebody who has lived in the South most of their lives, since I was 9 months old, for me, I love the South. And I don't see myself literally being, I've said this years ago, I don't see myself being anywhere else other than the South. It's just me. It's a special place, and I absolutely 100% love it. And the thing is, no matter where you are in this country, like Roger said, no matter where you are in this country, racism is still there. It's not far behind. It presents itself in different ways and in different manners. Some of it is more polite racism. Some of it is more in your face racism, but it's still there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you for writing in about that.
Thank you, baby.
And check me out on the Karen Hunter Show, guys. I have some fun conversations, and it's always lit. And Karen's such a great host, and we have a good time every Friday, Foolishness Friday, Sirius XM. You can check out Urban View and hear it live from 3 to 6 normally, and the replay is on the app on the Sirius XM, and I believe she also puts it on YouTube sometimes. Not the whole thing, but segments. Jason says, happy birthday, Big Rod. Happy hair day, Queen Karen. That was some good white people news. I had been following Jessica Alba on IG, and y'all weren't lying. The moment she split from her husband a little while ago, the yoga pants were aplenty. The exercise vids were flowing. Her loss was all our gains, right? She was getting some gains in the gym.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that's always interesting. Breakups, and then like for me, my guilty pleasure now is Joy Taylor, because she went through all that stuff at Fox Sports 1, that lawsuit, losing her job, lots of controversy, and she's just tripled down on throwing the yams out there for everybody. Like, don't worry about if I betrayed women at the workplace, worry about these titties. And I'm like, you know what? Fair. You know what? Okay, so you going to the gym again? All right, I guess we can check that out. I'm gonna forget about telling that woman she need to sleep with people and shut the hell up about complaining to HR. I'm gonna forget about that. That's fine. Like, whatever you need to do to avoid me thinking about that. You like, but you can think about these cheeks. Cool. I don't work there.
I do not work there.
I know you more for the IG than what's going on around the water cooler, so I'm cool with it. But since she's been with this new dude, it ain't the same. And the country music, yeah, well, she got mission accomplished. She got the dudes. It was like, let me tone this back down. I'm not on the market anymore.
Right, I'm not on the market.
Although sometimes tactical mistake. You got to keep the pressure on, but maybe she's not trying to marry this dude. I don't know. The country music beef is a type of appropriation I can get behind. I had no idea they had their own version of the Shade Room, right? What was that? They just need their own Vlad where they could go on camera and incriminate themselves and diss other artists' pickup trucks. That would be fun.
That's hilarious.
Why don't Vlad interview country people? It seems like that's some easy content.
Real easy, ain't it? They'll be more than happy to go on there.
We got one comment on Spotify for this one. Thaddeus says, LOL, distressed shoes is a real thing. Look up Golden Goose brand of shoes. Well, I'm going to tell you, like Steve Rogers said at the end of Endgame. Nope. I don't think I will.
That's hilarious.
The poll, have you had sex this year? Yes or no?
I have. With you?
I have not. Oh, okay.
What?
Yes. Yeah. No.
I'm about to say you was present.
Oh, I've had sex a lot.
Was it somebody else in the room?
Let's just say, Apia, eat your heart out. Okay, I don't want to give you the advanced stats, but it's a lot of sex happening up in this piece. Mr. Apia, step your game up. Okay, I don't know what number it is.
We got an AI robot in here. You need to tell me about.
I don't know what number of sex y'all having over there, Apia.
Sex, but
you need to multiply by the exchange rate and add a couple more for me. And that's not even counting the sex I'm having with all these other people. Have you had sex this year?
You mean he just mean I changed my wig?
I
went from a maid outfit to the nurse outfit.
We like the role play, Sometimes I'm like, you can be a white woman now, And then we had sex. I'm like, you like this BBC? And it's like,
and I call it a cock.
Yeah, you just gotta spice it up, man. Have you had sex this year? 68% yes, 32% have not. But hopefully everybody's happy out there. Mm-hmm. Sex or no sex, it's up to you guys. I'm not judging. We got voicemails. Let me play another one of these beats, and then we'll come back to the voicemail. All right, we got how many voicemails? 2. Waiting for it to load. Yeah. Wait. Yes, 2.
Okay.
All right, we got 2 voicemails. Let's check them out. Okay. Oh shit! Y'all can't hear this. I was doing it again. Little jokey joke. Right, like the dude.
He like to test the live audience.
I like to mess with y'all. Be like, what if you can hear this, but really you can't? Okay, now let's do it for real this time.
Hi, Karen. This is my Twitter handle is Agent 19. But my name is Trey. So I wanted to just call and just say, one, I love listening to y'all and I appreciate y'all, and I've been listening to probably. Gosh, it was before the 2016 election, because I always remember, because I think I came in on the episode when he was like, in Wakanda we had guns too. In Wakanda they had guns too, and it always cracks me up.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was listening to the episode from the 22nd, and Karen was talking about her hair, and so I was just listening, and I was relating so much, because I'm the same way. I've gone through so many different hairstyles. And now I have locks, and I've had locks for the last 5 years. And by far it has been the most enjoyable time with my hair, because I don't like doing my hair. So I like being able to just do it every now and then. It's low maintenance.
Right.
Anyway, it also made me think about how our personalities are so much alike. I am an extremely extroverted person, and my husband is so introverted, and he's chill. If he has video games, he is so calm, and that's his little happy place. And I listen to y'all all the time, and I always crack up, because it reminds me of my husband and our relationship. Hi, Cortez, if you listen to this, because he listens to I Converted Him, as well as a couple other people. But y'all's personalities are so much alike. The only thing that he doesn't do is watch sports nearly as much as you do, Rod. But as far as playing video games, being reserved, he's an introvert, and whatnot, and also music too. So it's just funny to me. And I just wanted to let y'all know that I love y'all, and thank you so much for having this journey. And I enjoy watching y'all develop and grow. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you. That's very nice. Yeah. That you've been listening for a while, because
that Killer
Mike clip is 2018.
You not woke. Wakanda, everybody had guns.
2018.
That was one of the craziest
Where?
interviews.
Like when you went start, like you got those.
Man,
I remember that.
I was watching a TV show on FX, The Lowdown, with Ethan Hawke, and I'm looking at it, and Killer Mike is in there as an actor. Like he has he's a character on the show. I didn't even know he was acting like that.
Neither.
I was like, man, they done snuck him in there. But if he gave him a gun, I was like, of course Killer Mike gave him a gun. Killer Mike was probably only took the role. He's like, can I have a gun? Because I care about that shit more than black people being free in Georgia. I don't give a fuck about Stacey Abrams. As long as somebody let me have a gun, I'll figure it out. I love guns. I'm Killer Mike. Wakanda, everyone had guns. But thank you for that voicemail, Agent 19. I didn't catch it was a little like staticky when you said your name, but call back. All right, next voicemail and last one.
My dear Rod and Karen, this is Caritha Mitchell at Prof Corey on social media.
Hey, baby.
Just giving y'all a call. I so appreciated Karen sharing about the natural hair journey. You know, the thing that has floored me, I think it was 2021 when I stopped getting relaxers. And what has shocked me, Karen, about this is when I was getting my hair straightened, and I was always fortunate to be able to do my hair really well. So I really liked the look I was able to achieve on a consistent basis, and it didn't feel hard. And, you know, I ran, and that didn't create a problem or anything. But during that time, you would not have been able to convince me that I would think that I would look professional without my hair being straight.
Right.
Or that I would look in the mirror and not be disappointed with how I looked if my hair weren't straight. And so what's been shocking to me over these past couple years is the variety of looks I can do and still be happy with what I see in the mirror. It is actually surprising to me. I did not think I would be able to be this flexible. So that's been really cool. And in fact, I got a haircut from a guy who was doing some fancy moves. And so when I went back to Columbus to my old hairdresser, I had her just completely chop off more. So I've never had my hair this short. And now I feel comfortable with this too. So that's part of what I identify with what you were saying, Karen, about just the self-acceptance and how much of a gift it is that we give ourselves when we can accept ourselves that way. So thank you for sharing over the years and that in particular, and I'll catch y'all later.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. And the thing about natural hair, and I've realized that too, it is a lot more flexible than people think it is. I think a lot of times when people think natural, and there's different forms of it, they automatically go locks, they automatically go, you know, different types of you know, really, really short cuts and things like that. But I've seen, I had a coworker at my old job, and she went natural same time I went natural. But because I didn't want to deal with having relaxed hair and natural hair all in one thing, so I just got the big chop. I was like, just fuck it, just chop it all off. But what she did was that she let her natural hair grow out and relaxed on the ends. And so by the time she got finished and they like chopped all her relaxed hair off, when you looked at her, she looked like she had a perm. It could shake. It could do her hair looked exact. She could wrap it because she trained her hair to do that. I like the curls in my hair, which is fine. So a lot of people fear like I won't be able to do that, but you actually can, like, if that's something that you desire to do, because I know this journey isn't for everybody because everybody's different, but I know, like I said, I absolutely love it, and it is amazing the diversity, because my hair is to the length I could put it up, I could put it down, you know, I could do all types of, put it in puffs, do all types of things with it that I could never do with it when my hair was relaxed.
All right, that's it for the voicemails. We got emails, and then we'll wrap this thing up. I think we got something in the physical mail too. But,
okay.
Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna play a beat here. Let's just, because I think it's only been a few minutes since our last break, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Sean writes in, possible fucking with black people, politics till we get mad article. It's about the Army hair guidelines about beards and how they basically switched it back so that black men can't grow beards. Then they just have to essentially deal with razor bumps. And if you have razor bumps, that's code. That's like part of the violations that can get you kicked out of the military. I haven't seen the results of this yet.
Not yet.
I'm sure we'll be getting a follow up if and when people get kicked off out of the military for basically essentially being black and having razor bumps. So stay tuned on that one. Nathaniel writes in, I need to stop bullshitting. Yes, I ordered the review of him. Looking forward to your insights. So on Patreon, you can actually order individual episodes. I just priced everything at $5. So like if you're just like, I don't want to listen to all this, I don't want to buy all this, or I don't want to subscribe, but maybe you're like, man, I really do need to know what Rod thought about one battle after another.
Yeah.
Then you can go spend $5 and hear an hour long of me talking to myself about a movie. He's done that, and so I guess he said, I don't even know, like $5 a month will get you just a tip, but you may or may not get that one that you want to get.
Right. So I understand, and I kind of like it for people who want to do a la carte.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another option for those of you on Patreon. You be like, in case we talk about something break out in sports or something like that, and you want to hear our opinion about it, you can actually go get those specific shows that you want to hear.
Alicia wrote in with a Guess the Race article, but it's a YouTube video, and the video is like 8 minutes long, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7 minutes and 36 seconds about a woman living in Atlanta who a guy tried to rip her off with a car that apparently, like, they suspect that he tampered with the odometer to make it seem like it was newer than it was.
Oh no.
But she says, let me start off by saying I love living in Atlanta. Originally, I didn't want to move here because so many people from my hometown now live here. But after I graduated from college, I got a job from Emory University, and I would have been crazy not to take it. I've been here since 2011. I built a life here, and I'm happy. But y'all, Atlanta is not a real place. The show Atlanta took very few liberties and exaggeration, if you ask me. For example, one day I was going to pick my babies up from daycare. There was a dude riding a horse down Covington Highway. Y'all, this nigga was actually riding a real live horse on the sidewalk, like a horse. I believe it. Anyway, here's a story I think you could use for Guess the Race. The story could have just as well been a background story for Atlanta. Again, I love Atlanta, even though it's not a real place. Yeah, if it wasn't 8 minutes, I'd play it and we do Guess the Race, but it's so long we can't. And Guess the Race, because of our clips that we put online, we try to actually, when we can, keep them below 3 minutes, but if we can keep it below like 5 is pretty cool too. But there's no way we can play an 8 minute clip, comment on it, and play Guess the Race and keep and put it online. So that's why. But thank you. Joe writes in, hi Rod. This is called Test as the title. Hi Rod. If this email is undeliverable, I will assume you have been raptured. Since you and Karen have been together since childhood, I will also have to guess you went together. However, if not, happy birthday, sinner. Joe. Thank you, Joe.
That's hilarious.
We still here.
Yeah,
so
we still here.
It must be all that role-playing white lady interracial sex.
I know.
It's messing us up, guys.
We don't know what to do. We messing up our own algorithm.
All that fake bunny hopping. And then in the physical mail, which, we have an Amazon wish list. It's in the show notes. Some people hit me up on the wish list for my B-Day. Thank you. And also, you can just, like, the mailing address is the blackouttips/about, like the blackouttips.com/about. But someone sent us something from Amazon. It says, happy birthday, Rod. Thank you for all you do. The world is a better place with you in it, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn G. And I didn't even open it to see what they were, but it appears to be, scan me to view your receipt. Okay, that's cool. It says a little love. Wait, I love peace. I love peace. I don't know if that's artificial intelligence loves peace, but okay, you open it. Oh, it's a microwave. It's like a microwavable container for food. Which you guys know that I do all the cooking around here.
He does.
So this will be put to good use for leftovers and stuff. I also eat most of the leftovers around here because Karen's too bougie to eat her own leftovers, which is
I'm
kind of
bougie.
weird. Well, you don't eat them, so
I don't, but I'm not bougie.
yeah, okay, buddy. Okay. The rest
Let
of
me
us,
live in my life.
the rest of us that respect food, when we pay for it, we bring it home, we eat it. Okay, there's some silver utensil things in here. I don't know what these are for.
Oh, we have to get.
I have to look in the instructions. There's also like a plastic spork in here.
Ooh, is it like a?
Shout out to Bojangles.
It's like a bowl or something, like a lunch bowl.
I think it said microwavable. What did it say on the side? It said, "Oh, instruction: to open, release the vent to let the air out, twist and unlock, upgrade, push lock mechanism. First, fits 2 packs of ramen or pho. Fill with water. Oh, so you can make pho in the microwave in 3 minutes."
Oh shit!
Now, I don't know what the metal things at the top is for. They don't feel microwavable to me, but I'm gonna have to look up the instructions. But I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll see if I can. But yeah, it's like I don't like the metal things in here is the part that I'm like that probably can't go in a microwave.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Like somehow you can make pho out of it.
They're supposed to be your chopsticks.
Oh, maybe they like little baby chop. Oh, I see. I see. So you take them and screw them into the other one, and that's how you make chopsticks. So it's basically like chopsticks on the go.
Oh,
okay. So yeah, you turn it like this, and now you got chopsticks.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Man, that's dope. Yeah,
I like that.
Now I don't normally microwave pho, unless I'm reheating it. In which case I totally microwave pho. But yeah, that's like cool. You know, I got packs of noodles in here that I don't be eating enough of and stuff. And I'm assuming it's the same thing in this box. So they probably got one for me and one for Karen.
Yay!
Yep. Same thing in this box as well. So
yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, baby. Yeah, we do got ramen in there.
Yeah. So we appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with JL Covan. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow with JL Covan, and we'll see you throughout the rest of the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good rest of your